My name is Sebastian, and this is my sister Tela.
No, I'm Tela, and this is my brother Sebastion.
Either way, this is
Bloodline Beatdown. We love wrestling.
And sports.
And wrestling.
And music.
And wrestling.
And movies.
But mostly wrestling.
So we thought we'd give our 2 cents.
Or 4 cents.
To the world of wrestling, sports, music, and movies.
AKA sports and entertainment.
We're not experts.
We don't know anyone in the business.
But boy, are we opinionated.
And with that, let's talk about WWE's Backlash. Our picks for that. And to do this, we would like to welcome our special guest, Mom. Hello. So we'll start with the match, and Amin could not join us this time, so we will be giving his picks on his behalf for you. So we'll start with the Bayley versus Ruby Riott match. I predict that Bayley will win this match, and so did Amin. Mom?
I picked Ruby Riott just because I like her better than Bayley.
I also picked Ruby Riott. I think with the Riott squad in her corner, it's going to be a 3-on-1 kind of atmosphere. And whether we see Sasha or not, it's going to be at the best 3-on-2, maybe even a 4-on-1. Who knows if there's going to be a heel turn there. Finally, seeing Bayley and Sasha kind of go at it. So I think Ruby Riott just makes the most sense to win that match. We'll move on now to a tag team match featuring 2 of the biggest and strongest men in the WWE. Facing Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. So Braun Strowman, Bobby Lashley versus Owens and Zayn. Amin has picked the team of Strowman and Lashley, probably because he loves Braun Strowman. And how can you fault him? I'm going to agree with that. Strowman beat the Bar at WrestleMania essentially by himself, although Nicholas held his own when he got tagged in. But if Braun can essentially beat the Bar, how are Zayn and Owens going to beat Braun with Lashley? So I think it's going to be Strowman and Lashley. Really?
I also think Strowman and Lashley, I can't imagine that they would not have Strowman win this match, especially since Lashley will be in his corner. Plus bringing Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn over to Raw, really not a big hype for me, so I'm definitely going Strowman, Lashley. Huh?
I'm going Strowman and Lashley as well. I really think that their ability to kick butt will be much better than Owens and Zayn.
Perfect. Let's move on to the SmackDown Live women's title match. Mom, who do you have?
I have Carmella.
So Carmella versus Charlotte Flair. I'm also going Carmella. I think Carmella just winning it. I think we'll see Iconics come out and help her win this match. They can't take it off of her this quickly, I think. It needs to be a little bit of a feud.
Yeah, I think Carmella retains as well. Maybe the Iconics. Maybe you see something with Becky Lynch to give Charlotte Flair something to do going down the road here, or Asuka even turning heel on Charlotte to kind of help Carmella. But I definitely think Carmella wins by some kind of nefarious means. Amin, however, has gone with Charlotte Flair. He thinks that Charlotte's just probably better to kind of carry the women's division on SmackDown Live at this time. We'll flip over to the men on SmackDown Live as Jeff Hardy defends the U.S. title against Randy Orton. Amin has picked Jeff Hardy to retain, as have I. I think Jeff just kind of got the belt a couple weeks ago from Jinder Mahal. I think it kind of makes sense to have him just have a little bit of a run with it and kind of be like John Cena was a couple years ago, just somebody who can put on a pretty good match with just about anybody. I think Orton has kind of had his run with the U.S. title to give him that Grand Slam opportunity. I think Orton's a little bit better just feuding with somebody else at this time rather than having the title on him. So I'm going to pick Jeff Hardy. Mom?
I picked Jeff Hardy as well. I've always been a big fan of Jeff Hardy as a single wrestler anyway, so I think that he could go the distance with this.
I also picked Jeff Hardy for their reason, so clean sweep on that one. So we'll move on to the Raw's women title. Nia Jax defends against Alexa Bliss. I do believe that Nia Jax will retain this. She's the biggest and baddest women's competitor right now, so I definitely think she's keeping it. Amin also picked Nia Jax. I know for a fact that Nia is his favorite women's wrestler, so no surprise there. Mom, who did you have?
I picked Alexa Bliss because I'm just not a big fan of Nia Jax.
I am a huge fan of Alexa Bliss, as is probably well known by this point. However, I think Nia Jax probably wins this match. I just think that Alexa Bliss has pretty much beaten every other woman on the Raw roster at this point. and it's probably time to move her a little bit away from the main event scene in the women's division and let Nia kind of have her run. So I think Nia retains. We'll flip over to the men on Raw now with the Intercontinental title. Well, at least Seth Rollins being on Raw, the champion, defending against SmackDown Live's The Miz. I think this one's probably going to be a clean sweep too. Spoiler alert, but I know that myself and Amin have both picked Seth Rollins because he's on Raw, and I think the title's probably staying on Raw. I don't think The Miz is going to take it over to SmackDown Live. I think we're going to end up seeing The Miz versus Daniel Bryan eventually. But I don't think we're going to build to that too quickly. I think they're going to try to take their time with it, but I think Seth Rollins wins because, if nothing else, the title needs to stay on Monday nights.
Mom?
I chose Seth Rollins because, honestly, I just don't like The Miz.
Fair enough. I also chose Seth freaking Rollins. No explanation there. Just need to know that it's Seth freaking Rollins. So we'll move on to Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe. I have picked Samoa Joe to win this match. Coming back from an injury, I really feel like they're going to start building his ability in the ring again. He's going to be a great competitor going forward. So why not face Roman Reigns, who just got out of a title match at the Greatest Royal Rumble. So I think Samoa Joe's going to take this. Amin has picked Roman Reigns. Sebastion?
I'm going to pick Samoa Joe as well. I think, kind of like Teal said, build him back up a little bit. He's been off the roster for a little bit with injury. But I also think it'd be good to see Roman Reigns lose a couple more of these main event style matches. I think it would add a little edge to his character that he just doesn't have. To see him lose in some big matches and kind of give him a reason, give fans a reason to root for him, give him a little motivation to kind of really overcome that hurdle, much like they did with Sami Zayn several years ago in NXT. Can't win the big one kind of idea. I think that'd be a good way to go with Roman Reigns. And Samoa Joe is a huge asset to WWE. He's a killer in the ring, killer on the mic. Just makes perfect sense here to have Samoa Joe go over. Mom?
I picked Roman Reigns because, well, he's really hot.
There you go.
To the point.
Yeah, so we'll flip over now to the SmackDown live roster. We'll talk a little bit here about Daniel Bryan in his first one-on-one pay-per-view match since being cleared about 6 weeks ago or so, as he faces Big Cass. Daniel Bryan not on SmackDown Live this past week after going over 70 minutes in the Greatest Royal Rumble. I do think personally that it would make sense to have Daniel Bryan win, but I think this is going to be a fluky finish. I think maybe Miz might interfere and help Big Cass. Something's going to go weird. I'm going to pick Big Cass officially to win, but I don't think it's pinfall or submission. I think it's something weird going to happen in this match. I just got a weird feeling about it. It's not going to be cookie cutter, clean cut. Sheila?
I picked Daniel Bryan. I can't imagine bringing Daniel Bryan back after being out of the ring for this long and not letting him win his first big match back and one-on-one match back at a pay-per-view. So Daniel Bryan is definitely going to get that underdog story again. I'm going to guess that we'll see him in the WrestleMania picture going into next year, so jumping a little bit forward. So I think they need to start that now and build him up again to be that kind of underdog that we all look for. Amin did pick Big Cass to win this. I'm not sure why, so
I think because he's 7 feet tall and he can't teach that.
Fair enough. Mom?
I picked Daniel Bryan because he just came back, so they're not really going to have him lose yet.
So we'll go on to the WWE World Heavyweight Championship title match, which is a no disqualification match from AJ Styles defending against Shinsuke Nakamura. I picked Shinsuke. I believe that with him turning heel and all of the kind of low blows that he's been doing, legitimately low blows that he's been doing, I feel like they're going to give him this title. Otherwise, there's really no point of the last couple pay-per-views. So I'm definitely going Shinsuke on this. Amin also picked Shinsuke. Mom?
I picked Shinsuke as well. I just think he has the better style to be able to defeat.
All right. I am also going to clean sweep here. Shinsuke Nakamura, like Tila said, he won the Royal Rumble and then lost at WrestleMania, the double count out at Greatest Royal Rumble. I think with the heel turn, with the Rumble win, with everything, if you don't have Nakamura win it here, I don't really foresee it happening in the near future again for him. I think this is kind of his last shot at the title, I would imagine. So I think it makes sense to to drop it to Nakamura, at least for now. You can always give it back to Styles in the rematch next month or a couple months from now, and then have Styles versus Samoa Joe or Styles versus Daniel Bryan or whoever later. But I think if you're not going to give it to Nakamura now, I think you kind of wasted Nakamura, honestly. So I think this is the time that the title switches hands. And with that, we're going to let you guys go. The Backlash pay-per-view kickoff show starts at 7 o'clock tonight on the WWE Network, which is free for new subscribers, $9.99 if you are already subscribing. And last thing I'll say is Happy Rusev Day.
Thank you for watching.